If someone like the diddler is your hero, then you should hurry up and go to hell with him.
Alright, everybody. So lately the music industry has been buzzing with some pretty serious shenanigans. This time it's going on with Sean Combs, also known as Diddy. The rumors are pretty wild, as I'm sure you're already aware, with singer and whistleblower Jaguar Wright at the center, spilling some pretty major allegations that paint a disgusting picture of what's been going down behind the scenes. So let's dive right in and break down why what he has to say is such a big deal.
The beginning. Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
So let's get real, Jaguar Wright isn't holding back here. She's called out Diddy for all kinds of shady stuff, particularly using his power in the music world to exploit and manipulate. According to Wright, Diddy didn't just sign artists to the Bad Boy Records, he would openly control them. She's saying he took advantage of people chasing fame, using his influence to put him in vulnerable positions, and let's face it, that's a pretty heavy accusation. Wright believes that Diddy's influence went way beyond contracts. He allegedly had a stranglehold on these artists' careers and personal lives, which is what was keeping him on the top. Kicker is, Wright says the issue is a lot bigger than just Diddy. She claims the whole music scene is dirty, and it's high time people start looking deeper and sorting this mess out. Now, accountability is the name of the game here, so it's time someone steps up. And recently, Jaguar Wright's been making headlines again with some pretty bold claims about seeing Diddy Combs. She sat down with Piers Morgan on the reality check and didn't hold back. She straight up called him one of the most dangerous people she's ever met, and even went as far as calling him the devil. Needless to say, things are getting pretty real out here. This is the kind of drama that you can wake up to and it's got everyone talking already, and you ain't even seen anything about it yet.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been
Now, this ain't the first time that Jaguar's gone after Diddy. She's been sounding the alarm off for years about this. What's really turning heads this time is how she ended up dragging Clive Davis, the big shot music exec, into the mix. Now, according to Jaguar, Clive was Diddy's greatest teacher, basically the mastermind who ended up leading him down the path he went. She was even saying Diddy ain't the bottom of this, and if people want to get to the bottom, they need to start looking at who was really teaching Diddy the ropes. Well, talk about throwing a bombshell. Whether you believe it or not, Jaguar is making sure that no one's brushing this off too quickly.
You know what I'm saying? Clive is a whole freak.
You think Clive put him on to all
I know. Clive, that's what he do. Queen Clive. Long may she reign in hell.
Jaguar Wright has also made some pretty intense claims about Diddy, saying that he, quote, sacrificed fellow rappers to achieve his success. Now, one of the most shocking allegations is that Diddy was actually involved in the death of Notorious Big, also known as Biggie Smalls.
He hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse is very valuable. So then what the fuck happened to the commission? What happened to that album? It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have came out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated.
Now, Wright claims that Diddy made billions of dollars by sacrificing Biggie, and the truth about Diddy's involvement in the biggest death has been covered up for years.
He could sacrifice you like he tried to do me, and he succeeded with Aaliyah. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Jay-Z should be charged.
Wright also accused Diddy of having incriminating tapes of various people and suggesting that he might expose them if pressured. She's named some other celebrities, including Jay-Z and Beyonce, alleging their involvement in various scandals and sinister activities related to Diddy.
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million.
And it doesn't end there. Wright said that if Diddy wasn't just exploiting people, he was straight up suppressing talent. Now, according to her, he's been holding back artists who could have been pretty huge, like household name huge. And the theory is he's been shifting them to make sure that he stays on the king of the hill. If that's true, it ain't just about controlling people's careers, it's about sabotaging them as well, which is some next level power play stuff.
These are practices that have been around long before they started choreographing society.
Wright's claiming that Diddy's parties and private events were a lot more than just A-list shindigs. She claims that they were setups where people, both men and women, would be forced into compromising situations, and she's not the first person to say this. Think about it, what should be glamorous industry parties being used allegedly for exploitation, not that uncommon of a claim. It is a whole new level of messed up though. And Wright is just shining a light on how deep this power dynamic goes.
A lot of people that end up at these wild parties and in these wild ceremonies, because see, everyone's thinking freak off, freak off, freak off, but what you're not thinking is ritualistic human sacrifice.
Right.
Whether or not you're offering up your sexuality or offering up your life force.
So now we're entering some pretty serious, dark territory. Wright's most disturbing allegations involve trafficking, which you've probably heard about before. She's mentioned cases where underage girls are being exploited, implying that there's some major issues within that industry that go way beyond typical celebrity scandal.
Tell us why. Tell us why.
Because he's a sex trafficker. And he's using music and entertainment to sex traffic.
That's how he operates. He has people followed, he has people watched, he does all kinds of things. He's a piece of shit.
Too much money.
I feel bad for the kids.
Wright's also been talking about how Diddy's career has been built on manipulation and abuse from the very beginning, naming artists like Cassie and Kim Porter. There's already been a mountain of footage on the internet claiming to show Diddy being abusive towards women, and a lot of it looks pretty damning. And if more of it sees the light of day, it could be even worse for Diddy. These accusations make this seem like it ain't just a one-off, it's a pattern of behavior that's just hit a lot of people along the way.
Aubrey, the one that ran. And Kendrick is not a pedophile. So why would you be trying to charge them both?
On the other hand, Wright thinks Jay-Z is just as bad as Diddy, if not worse. And since Diddy is in trouble, Jay-Z is doing everything he can to stay safe.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time?
Now pause, because Wright ain't just coming for Diddy by himself. Jay-Z is in a mess too. Wright has thrown some pretty serious shade at him, accusing him of grooming younger women, including Foxy Brown. According to her, Jay-Z has been playing a pretty similar game of manipulation and exploitation. She didn't stop right there, even dragging celebs like Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Rihanna into the conversation, saying the industry is full of powerful people covering up shady business. It's starting to sound like a real-life soap opera, though depending on what parts of the internet you've been on, you might have seen stuff like this already.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
Now here's where things can get messy. Wright mentioned that Gloria Allred, yes, that Gloria Allred, who's always been on the front lines of high-profile legal cases, could be investigating some big names such as Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Now, if that's the case, the entire hip-hop community is looking at a pretty big legal storm, and having a heavyweight attorney in the mix is going to add a whole new level of seriousness to all of the allegations that are coming forward.
Gloria Allred got herself something in her nose. She's hunting rap perverts now. And for some reason, she's interested in going after Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
What Jaguar is talking about isn't just a couple bad apples, it's calling out the entire system, which is what makes this crazy. She's saying the music industry itself is full of power-hungry people who are exploiting vulnerable talent, and that Diddy and Jay-Z are just the tip of the iceberg. Now that kind of corruption, if true, showcases a pretty deep problem that's been bubbling up under the surface for years. This isn't just individual misconduct we're talking about, but a whole culture and a whole industry that needs some work, and that's something we can't ignore.
It's just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
Now obviously, scandals like this aren't new, but Jaguar's claims against Diddy and others definitely bring up some serious questions about what's really been going on behind the scenes in the music biz. Whether or not the public believes her, these kind of allegations are going to leave their mark. And let's be honest, whether it's a legal drama, apologies, or career comebacks, the world's watching, ready to decide the fate of everyone involved in the court of public opinion.